everyone, welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. So today we are continuing our series on the McClelland Orientals, and we are doing today McClelland's Drama Reserve.
Yes.
Drama Reserve is has Orientals and Virginias in it. It's a ribbon. It comes in 50-gram tins. No longer in production. The strength on this is moderate to medium.
Yeah.
And the flavor on this, their taste on this is medium. So we're going to talk about this one. Now, Warren, remember we tried this maybe a year or so ago at Pipe World. It tastes a lot different now. Go back to it, try it again, see what you think. That's all I'll tell you. All right. So let's get into this one and see what we think.
Yeah.
So a couple of things about this one. First of all, when I tried this back last year, or maybe, yeah, I think it was last year. It was absolutely delicious. I mean, it was my favorite Oriental out of all
Really?
of them. Yes.
Had you tried all of them up to that point?
No, but since I've been trying them, so now that I'm coming back to it a year later,
Matching it with the other importer?
it has changed.
Yes.
It has changed, not in a bad way, but it's not as sweet as it was when I first tried it. So let's go ahead and get into this one, and we'll talk about that as we go. So first of all, let's talk about the tin note on this one. What are you getting on the tin note?
Okay. So you said it earlier when we first opened it up and loaded our bowls and stuff, and I think you're right on the mark with this.
Wait, before we do that, keep that thought. I want to give you what the description was on the tin itself. The famed drama leaf is sweet and subtle with a natural olive oil fragrance. It is grown on the southern slopes of the foothills of the Rhodope Mountains, the classic drama Bosma district in Greek Eastern Macedonia, and includes the renowned Mahala. It is refreshing, delicate, intriguing. This blend is designed to demonstrate just why the classic top-grade drama leaf is so celebrated. All right, so
yeah,
what are you getting out of this one?
So yeah, my thought is exactly like you said. This has got to be the earthiest smelling Oriental we've had in this series so far, and not earthy in the way of like woodsy and very or smoky or some of like the other earthy things that we kind of relate it to. More dirt, earth. Like actual earth smell. The Virginias are not coming through as prevalent in this one as they were in some of the other blends. I could get some of those tangy, ketchupy, vinegary type smells coming
red
through.
Virginias.
Virginias that they do. This one, I'm getting a whole lot more dark, a lot more depth, a lot more earth to the scent. And I don't get the hints of the olive oil in the smell. Or any sweetness, and that's where I wanted to kind of lean on you a bit with this video. You've tried this before, and it's changed. Now, is it the blend has changed, or is it because we've smoked some of the others that this is changed?
Well, I think the age has changed it.
Okay.
Is what I added another year. This version is 2016 that we're smoking.
Okay.
And the extra year has just done some things to it.
Okay.
So,
1 second.
I'm definitely I get a little bit of that McClelland Reds in there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I get a really earthy, woody kind of tone to this.
Yeah.
There's a slight sweet and sour back in the background of this, but for the most part, that earthiness is just right there in your face.
Yeah.
You know, the Virginias lend itself to the sweetness. It lends itself to the grassiness. It lends itself to the little bit of a spiciness in there. But man, the most earthy scent that I've had in a long, long time.
Yeah, and it's not even earthy like where you get that pepperiness from the earth smell or anything like that, like spices or anything. It is a very, the only time I remember smells of certain things like this is like when in Jack County where it was mostly dirt and mesquite trees.
Yeah.
And that's where that's where it takes me when I smell it, is thinking about how almost arid the area was.
Smell it again. I think you get also a little hint of some dark fruit in there. Just a little bit.
A little bit.
And
of
maybe
the dark
some
fruit.
nuts.
Yeah. Maybe that's where I'm getting but that's the only bit that I would be getting any form of sweetness from. Would be maybe a dark fruit or kind of a nuttiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the tang is there. It's just the Red Virginia tang is there. It's just that earthiness is so
And I get some of the reviews that I read on this talks about a kind of a cocoa chocolatey smell. I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. I get a little bit of the dark fruit, and I get a lot of earth and a lot of wood.
Maybe if we knew what cocoa smelled like before it was turned into chocolate.
Well, you can always smell a can of Hershey's cocoa.
Yeah, but even then, they're still...
I don't know. I like the 10 note, but it's changed. It was much more. Was more sweet.
Oh, okay.
When we opened it with Warren. So it's interesting how that has changed since it's been open.
How much it's changed.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah. All right. So what are you getting in the tastes?
Reading the tin as I was tasting it, and the first thing that stuck out when I read it was it said olive oil on the description. I went, oh yeah, that's right there. I taste that olive oil kind of flavor. That it's not tart as much as it is. It is a deep bitterness, not enough to make you like. It's hard to describe, but there's that bitter, earthy kind of depth and darkness that's to it. That flavor is so unique in this one. This is definitely the most obtuse of all of their Grand Orientals to me. This has gone a different direction some of the other ones were going.
So the bitterness that I think you're tasting is the acidity from the Virginias, okay? That kind of vinegary acidity that McClelland is known for. But I also think you're getting a little bit of a touch of spice. There's a buttery, creamy mouthfeel to this. But there's also kind of a citrus hit to it, kind of a lemony,
but like a rimey citrus. Not
think of hops.
Yes, that's where I'm going. It's more along the lines of like it's a bitterness that it isn't unpleasant. It's what you would get, I feel, from things like hops or the rind of the lemon.
Yeah.
You still get the same citrus, you still get the same bitter, but it's not totally off-putting. But it's deeper. It hits further back on your taste buds when it comes to the bitterness instead of like right there making you pucker.
The sweetness is very subtle on this. It's not in your face sweet. It's kind of in the background. I get a lot of herbalness with this.
The sweetness I get is like when you mentioned earlier in the tin note, maybe a nutty type of sweetness, maybe a very soft sweet, not like a sugar sweet.
Do you get any saltiness from this?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
A lot of saltiness. I think, and I'm not sure if that's because all the bitter is causing me to salivate a little bit more. So normally when salty foods cause me to salivate a bit, but I'm getting a lot of saltiness in this too. That olive oil, though, I think that is a very, very true flavor that's in there.
Olive oil, depending on what kind you get, has that very earthy, herbal kind of essence to it.
Yeah. And you can smell it when you cook with it and things. And depending on which ones you use, this one is like a very extra dry, very deep olive oil flavor.
Yeah, this is good. It's totally different than what I expected though, because having tasted it before, I think that the Virginias really came out on this when we first opened it, and now it's gone back to where the Orientals are really kind of forward on this.
Yeah, this one to me, the Orientals are a lot more forward. This Mahalo leaf, is that what it is that's in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot more prevalent in this blend than I'm tasting the Virginias and stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It's really interesting. All right, what are you getting on the room note on this?
It's tolerable to me. This doesn't have that McClelland room note smell that comes from the Virginias and stuff. That smokers would know, that would go, ooh, I want to try that. It's a little, that tone is a little more subtle.
I think the room note on this really matches the tin note with the earthiness and that kind of, that woodiness. I think that's what you're getting in the room note as well.
Yeah, it's much more. It's much deeper, a little more, for lack of a better word, contemplative. The smoke. It doesn't change, but there's interesting new little tidbits every time you take a puff.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting that you mentioned that because I do get.
Sometimes I get
a little
more Virginia.
different.
Yeah, sometimes I get more Virginia. Sometimes I'm getting more earthiness. Sometimes I'm getting this. And it's interesting. It's like playing with me as I'm trying to smoke it and discern and, figure out what points I'm really enjoying about it. It's got highs here, lows here, back and forth.
Really good. Moisture level. What do you think about the moisture level on this?
Well, moisture level with some of these aged blends are always a little hard for me to judge. I think it was good. Yeah. I think the way it was,
it's a tad on the dry side.
Yeah, it was ready to go. Maybe a little bit more time, but honestly, it's hard to discern because this is already almost a 10-year-old blend.
Yeah, it's 8 year old.
8 years old, and so there's going to be some dryness added to it from the aging process.
Yeah, especially if you don't keep it in a jar. And I kept it in one of those Mylar.
Mylar bags. Yep.
What do you think about the nicotine on this one?
This isn't too harsh of a smoke. This is a mild to me. It will satisfy your nicotine fix, but I don't see.
You think it's a mild?
A mild, maybe up to a medium. It's not too harsh to me.
I get a little more nick hit off of this one than I have some of the other ones. And I don't know if it's because I've already had a couple of smokes today. If I have had a drink today, a cocktail. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Could be,
but it does feel a little bit like it's leaning towards the medium rather than the moderate or the mild.
Maybe
for me,
and to me, maybe the reason I could be attesting the beer I'm having to the more lackadaisical buzzed feeling than I am the smoke, and it could be the smoke.
So this, so far, I'm getting a very cool, a very dry smoke. It's consistent in the sense that it's not going away from the tin notes, but it does some certain things come out stronger than others.
It is changing through the. It's circular. It's like a circle.
Yeah, it's a circle.
It's a circle.
And it's not a triangle.
and so it is constantly going through the same highs and lows through the whole bowl, but they're staying within their respective flavor ranges.
All day smoke?
Ooh, for me, no.
Me, no.
Yeah, I just.
This is
Orientals
a sipper.
To me aren't all day smoke. Anyway.
This is a sipper, and this is a relax, kind of a sit down and enjoy, especially because it's difficult to find. You can get these at, I've seen them at
pipe
shows.
Yeah.
They go for
Sometimes
anywhere.
the brick and mortars.
Yeah, they go for anywhere from $50 to $70 a tin.
Yeah.
Depending on how crazy the person's trying, that's trying to sell it is. But yeah, it's just a relaxing, good smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these come in 50-gram tins. It's no longer in production, and like I said, if you can find it, you're going to pay probably about $60 for it.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. It's a McClelland blend, so anywhere from 40 to 60, especially on these like special blends, like the Grand Oriental or the Anniversary Flakes and stuff like that they have. You're going to spend about $20 more a tin than just a normal blend that they have.
How would you rank this to some of the others?
Okay, I was going to ask you the same thing.
Yeah.
How many have we smoked so far? 5?
This was number 7.
This is number 7 that we've smoked.
Yeah. There's 8.
Okay.
We got one more.
One more. Yeah, unfortunately, for me, with this particular blend, the Virginias played better with the Orientals and and several of the other blends that I can think of. This one's on the lower range. I would put this at like number 2 or 3 for me.
2 or 3
out of the Grand Oriental series.
Like your first best or your second best,
No,
or your
lower.
So your worst or your second
or
worst.
third from the bottom.
I got it. Interesting. So when I first cracked this open, and then I started smoking the others, it was the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Really?
Yes. And a year later, it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's right in the middle for me.
It didn't hold to the test. Like we've got all of them right here. I remember.
Yeah, the Eunice series were really good.
Oh God, the Catarini
was excellent.
really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember this Smyrna. That was another really good one. I can think of are these all the ones we've tried?
No, there's the Yaninji Highlander is the last one we have to try.
Okay, yeah. Supreme, that's the one. Black Sea, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I can really think of a couple others. There's the classic Samson right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Yaninji Supreme, that's the one that I was like, yeah.
It's going to be after we smoke the Highlander.
For me, it's going to be.
It's going to be tough to go back and make a decision. We still have enough to sample all of them, like one right after the other.
We should do that as our 9th episode. You guys tell us what you think. As our 9th episode, we should try them all, and then give us our rating. Give our ratings. As the conclusion of the series, this is what we think.
That's a hell of a lot of tobacco to smoke in one sitting, man.
A hell of a lot of good tobacco.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
We could do that. All right. Well, that's what we think about the Drama Reserve.
Yep.
Still a great tobacco.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be disappointed. I think if you can get somebody to agree to separate from it for $45, $50 a tin, that's worth it. That's worth it. Anything over $65, I don't think it's worth it.
Okay, and here's what I think. Buy it for whatever you can get it for, because there's not a lot of them out there.
That's fair.
When you crack it open, smoke it all. I mean, don't wait.
It doesn't. This one isn't getting better with age. You enjoyed it better when you first opened it.
Yeah, once you crack that seal, there's something that happens to it as it sits. That decreases the.
I can see where that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thought on it.
Yep.
Anyway, hey guys, I'll be at the Richmond Pipe Show in beginning of September on the 14th. Mm-hmm. Please come up and see me. Let's sit down and share a bowl.
And then at the end of September,
we'll be at the Missouri Meerschaum celebration, both on Friday and Saturday of that. I think it's like the 27th and 28th of September.
Yes.
I will also be at the Vegas Pipe Show. So there's quite a few things coming up here in September and October.
Yeah.
So please, like I said before, I may not know your faces, but you know our faces. So come talk to us. We'd love to sit down and share a bowl with you and
Please do, yeah.
kind of talk shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always enjoy it.
All right, guys. Well, until we see you next time, don't forget,
make all your piping moments count.
We'll see you next week. Have a great one. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.